on the video. I know you heard me on the radio. But you still don't pay no attention. Listening to what your girlfriends mention. He's a slut, he's a hoe, he's a freak. Got a different girl every day of the week. It's cool, not trying to put a rush on you. I had to let you know that I got a crush on you. Why you trying to kiss Sea Breeze?
Yo, let's get retarded.
I'm ready to talk about some hot dudes.
Yeah. Jason Bateman, 1 through 10. Anyway, yeah, welcome to Red River Podcast, episode 121, where today we're going to talk about celebrity crushes. Because why not? You know, I forget what really made me think of this. It might have been like thinking of Facts of Life or something, where I was trying to remember like what my first like celebrity crush was. And I thought it'd be interesting to kind of like go through like the years and make a top 10 of, you know, that like people that you had a crush on that were celebrities. So and I figured, I don't know, if we were gonna do this, I thought it would only be right to ask our significant others to make a list for themselves, because I thought that would be funny as well. So
yeah.
But all right, yeah, man, let's kick it off. I have a whole bunch of honorable mentions, man. It was a very hard list to
so hard, dude.
Even my girl, even Karen was like, I could have made 20, and I'm like, well, I only need 10.
Yeah, I got so many, like, a couple of them are like obscure, and some of them I just felt like talking about. But yeah, I had a ton of them.
All right, yeah. So let's do it. Let's start off with fucking Parker up there. Do you have any honorable mentions before we do our 10?
So mine kind of comes in like 3 waves, how these crushes work. So when I was, 9 years old in 1986, there was a movie release called Howard the Duck. And there was this hot chick that played, rock guitar. And I was like, wow, this chick is fucking hot. And her name was Leah Thompson. And then the following year, she did this movie called Some Kind of Wonderful. And I was just like a 10-year-old kid, just fucking head over heels for this fucking girl. I was like, oh my God, she's so fucking hot. Like, who is this girl? Like a 10-year-old kid. Like, let's be honest there. And the same year that Howard the Duck came out, Labyrinth came out.
Yeah,
which is early Jennifer Connelly, who, you could tell that she was gonna blossom into something, and then there was kind of like a lull. She didn't really do much. And then in 1987, Mannequin came out, and I thought that Kim Cattrall was like the fucking hottest thing. So those were like my 3 OGs that I carried with me probably till like, I don't even know, maybe like 96, 97. Then I was like, all right, time to fucking scrap these people and come up with like a new top 10 list. So now we're at part 2 of my saga here. It's going to be better than Godfather 3, though, I promise you. So then I went for people like Carmen Electra. I went for, even though she's still batshit crazy, something about Mariah Carey. I don't know.
Yeah,
even though she's batshit crazy, still something.
No, early Mariah Carey. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Still to this date, even though I made an updated list, but this one still shines. So I guess it could be an honorable mention. Charlize Theron is fucking impeccable.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Hurley, she could be mute and look like that, and it wouldn't even matter. But once she speaks, I go gaga. It's even worse. Then you go into people like, Jessica Biel and Jennifer Love Hewitt. And now I'm like at that age where like kind of like the high school movies are starting, and like, she gets kicked off of Seventh Heaven. Now I'm buying Maxim and stuff like that.
Yeah, Maxim for sure.
Yeah, so
Maxim
and stuff like that. So then we decided to do this, and I was just like, all right, a lot of these people aren't really, I don't want to say that important anymore, but I thought that it was time for a new list. So kicking off my number 10,
we're doing honorable mentions first.
Oh, so honorable mention. Okay,
that was good. Okay, that was a good.
Okay.
I mean,
that was
listen,
that was my
it-
life story right there.
if those were discarded,
Yeah.
I could only imagine
Yeah,
what the
yeah.
list looks like.
I mean,
so.
you heard everything, but how many fucking bottles of Vaseline I went through with that list? So.
Oh,
Maxim Maxim was good for that. So Langan, do you have any honorables?
I do. You know, I had to. There's so many that like would make a list, and then a lot of them like no one would know who they are. So like I try to keep it like kind of referential. The only one that I love that no one will know who they are is Vanja Slot, who is the bass player from Triptychon, Tom G Warriors band.
Yeah.
You don't know who she is, but if you Google her, you're gonna be like, damn.
Yeah.
Ah.
And I'm also gonna throw out Jamie Gertz.
Yeah,
Oh,
Like
great.
Lost
Nice.
Boys days,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Less Than Zero.
Less
Yeah.
than zero for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love her. Phoebe Cates,
Yeah.
very important to a young man growing up. Susanna Haas from the Bangles.
Mm.
Amy Sedaris, I always had a crush on. Very funny, brilliant, cute. Janine Garofalo, another one that I always had a crush on. Always cool as shit. And there's a couple I have on here that I bet you somebody else will mention, so I'm just gonna leave those ones alone. But I also would have to shout out Lady Miss Kier, who is the
Oh,
singer
that's
of Delight.
That's a good one.
In the early 90s, she had the dopest style. Like every girl that was a raver like rocked her look, just like every guy looked like one of the Beastie Boys. That was the style, and she was on point.
You're right. You're right. And I was thinking that yesterday when like Check Your Head celebrated 30 years,
Mhm.
how like when I guess that came out. So I was like 14. I was very much into skate culture. And
Mhm.
like, yeah, those guys, like as far as even like aesthetic wise, like they just had a really cool look. It was just like pants and a t-shirt. So
Mhm.
whenever we would go to the city, we would go to
That thrift store vibe
yeah,
shirts.
yeah, back when I could fit into things like that. So
Yeah.
but okay, yeah. So I have a pretty decent honorable mention. I couldn't cut them off, you know. So I'm gonna mention two that were very much in the beginning of my life. Joe from Facts of Life.
Oh,
Mm.
all right.
You know, like I remember everyone wanting Blair, but
Fuck that.
right to me, I
Yeah.
was just like Joanna Marie Polnicek was
Yeah.
like I just especially like when they were in that school, not so much when they all got like mullets and stuff, but very much her. And then sometime around the same time, everyone loved Andy from Goonies. I went for Martha Plimpton.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Interesting.
I like it. Curveball.
You
I
know?
respect that.
Yeah. So and then you know you go into stuff like very influential for me, Madonna.
Mm.
Like when Madonna put out Justify My Love, that
Word.
you know it's very hard for you to find like pornographic material or things like that. So when something like that was so risque back in 1990, it was a big
Sure.
deal.
Oh yeah.
You know, like they like censored it and all this other stuff. And I just thought she was like from 90 to 93, I thought like that was like peak Madonna physically.
That's the same time she released the book, right? That
I
all
think
came
so.
out in
Yeah.
conjunction, I
Yeah.
think, right? Yeah.
So she was also in a video Deeper, I think it was called Deeper and Deeper. And
Yeah.
Udo Kier was in it. And another
Yes.
one who's on my list, speaking of Godfather 3.
We don't care.
He's on my real list.
Martha Plimpton, Udo Kier, Udo Dirk Schneider, all the Udos.
Men Udo. Sophia Coppola.
Okay.
All right.
So Sophia Coppola was in that video, and she was in, you know, Godfather 3. Kirstie Alley was a big one for me.
Oh, nice.
Mm.
Yeah.
So Christy Swanson in The Chase.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
Buffy the Vampire
Oh,
Slayer.
yeah.
That was a devastating one for sure.
Yeah.
And then later on, once you get to like the to Mallrats, Claire Forlani,
Yes.
Joey Lauren Adams, and Trish the Dish.
Mm.
And then let's see, I have Alexandra Daddario. And the last honorable mention I have is from Boogie Nights, and it's Amber Waves, Julianne Moore. You know, I just thought
Mm.
she was so goddamn sexy in that movie, man. Like that was like 97. So yeah, she just I don't she like you look at her, she's not like conventionally like super smoking hot, but she in that movie in particular, I think that's where she was like, the best looking. So those are my honorables. And so let's do it, man. Top 10. So we'll give our riding up to like our number one, then we'll read our significant others list like before we give our number one. So who do I Parker, give me your number 10.
Yep.
Okay, so you can blame my wife for making me get into this show. Not that we even watch it together anymore, but years ago we started watching Dancing with the Stars together, and half of these chicks are obviously in peak physical fucking shape because they're
I'll edit that out.
Yeah, thank you. So my number 10, even though she's fucking half my age, she's 23, is this chick Whitney Carson, and she's blonde, which is weird for me because I'm not really a blonde guy, but
Me neither.
she's got a killer face. She's got a really good fucking personality. She seems like she's funny as hell. So she had to come in at number 10, man. So Whitney Carson.
Hey, you know what my favorite part about that pick is? Anytime I see the list for Dancing with the Stars, I think to myself, are these people even celebrities?
Yeah.
And then and Parker picks one of the dancers, which is even funnier.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's hotter than half of the fucking guests anyway. So,
we're going to look her up. So Langan, number 10.
My number 10, I'm going way back on this one, but as a young man watching the up at night horror movies and whatnot, I got to shout out Elvira,
Nice.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean,
that's a good one.
It's prime right in that wheelhouse of mine. Vampira, Barbara Steele, love that look. Can't, forget about it. But Elvira, as a young dude,
Yeah.
I mean, corny jokes, but that was part of her appeal. Like she did these like vaudevillian Henny Youngman kind of like jokes and stuff. But man, that's not what I was tuning in for.
No.
And the horror in line too. It was a perfect storm for me.
For sure. That's a good one. I don't know why I didn't think of that one. So my number 10 is someone who's kind of new. So it's Aya Cash. I saw her in The Boys, and I thought she was cool in The Boys. She just has like a really normal personality. Like she's like almost like a female Vince Vaughn, where like I feel like every part of her personality comes through in those roles and stuff. So, but the role that I picked her for in particular is on You're the Worst. I feel like Gretchen Cutler, she was just amazing in that role and super likable. And I just, I had to at least sneak her into my top 10. So Parker, number 9.
Number 9. So I think I first saw her in The Office, this next one, and it's Rashida Jones.
Good one.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. It's just something about her. I mean, she left that. I started watching Parks and Recs pretty much because of her. And just everything she's in, she's got this, once again, she seems like she's funny. She's got a good personality. I mean, I love you, man, doing the fucking stupid Jamaican fucking accent thing with Paul Rudd, who would have made my top 10 if I was doing dudes, shout out to Paul Rudd. But I with this list, I just wanted to have updated actors, actresses. So that's why I went for her at my number 9.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, that's a good, she's
great.
She is great. And she's like, I mean, listen, Quincy Jones, shout out to you. Langan, number 9.
My number 9, I'm going back to Christina Applegate.
Oh, nice.
The Kelly Bundy years, of course. I was like enamored with her, and I'm not really into blondes either, but I had the poster on my wall. I remember my mother I was just talking about this with my sister the other day. My mother was so happy when I bought the Christina Applegate with what did she have, like a hawk on her hand and a snake around? I don't even remember what the fuck that shit was. But that I didn't have like Iron Maiden corpses like all over my room, and that I had like this girl poster finally up there. She was so thrilled. Yeah.
She's like, all right, I guess my son's kind of normal,
But forget it, Kelly Bundy.
I was always a Peg Bundy guy, but
I respect that.
I get the appeal. I get the appeal. So my number 9 is also someone who's kind of newer. When I first saw her on this HBO show, and it's just like automatically, like I saw her and she was just, you watch someone, you're like, who the fuck is that? I never heard her name before. I never saw her before. Now she's kind of like thin now and, does a lot of directing, but she's very funny, super talented. Her name is Lake Bell. Lake Bell is my number 9. And I first saw her on a show called How to Make It in America, which was on HBO. Really cool show. These two friends, are trying to get into like the, I guess, garment business. And they're trying to like, I think they came up with their own jeans and stuff like that. So I think it ran for like 2 or 3 seasons and she was like the girlfriend. And it was great. It was one of those things that got canceled after 2 or 3 seasons. But if you watch it, it's New York centric. A lot of like the, characters, actors from New York are in it. And the soundtrack's great. And number 9, Lake Bell. Parker, number 8.
So number 8, I think I first saw her on Sci-Fi had this show called Blood Drive, and I don't even know how many episodes I watched. I probably just gave up on it or whatever. And then I started watching this other show that she was in called Animal Kingdom, and I was like, God damn, this chick is hot. Christina Ocho. Yeah, Christina Ocho was her name. And I remember going into this fucking show and I was just like, God damn, I'm like, this chick is hot. And like, I think 5 minutes into like the first episode of Animal Kingdom, like she starts like banging this dude. And like, I think I like walked out of the room because my wife was standing there. I was like, I can't even fucking handle this right now. I'm like, this chick is too goddamn hot. I got to get out of here.
Yeah, like I need to go cool down.
I got to go fucking listen to some fucking Billy Joel and kill myself,
It's funny that you mentioned Billy Joel, because before I turned this podcast on, I had in the background, I guess, some Channel 2 show. It's like, it's not Entertainment Tonight. It's some show, and they show this clip at the end of the episode, and it's 2 girls like 2 sisters are like all over each other and congratulating and like laughing and hugging each other. And they're like, what do you think they're so happy about? And then at the very end, they're like, one sister bought the other sister Billy Joel tickets and she just surprised her.
Oh, fuck that.
I was just like, wait, that's what you end the show with? Like what planet is this?
Oh my God.
It's so weird. Like I don't even hate Billy Joel, but it's like, what? Like, okay.
Yeah.
I think of baseball when I need to cool out, Parker. Billy Joel.
Something, man. Something.
Langan, number 8.
Number 8, I got not a real popular one probably in the list, but Parker Posey. Always been a huge fan of her. Same way I mentioned Lady Miss Key. I always thought Parker Posey was the epitome of early 90s New York City style. Always dope clothes and before, like, I know, like, Days of Confused, she was in that, and she gets mentioned as her credits, but she's in, like, so many other art house movies before that. And the one that really put it on my radar was Party Girl.
Yep.
Which was just it's a fantastic, fun New York City movie, New York City-centric movie about the, like, club days of that era.
For sure.
And I love Parker Posey.
That reminds me, she's not on my list, but that reminded me, I forgot Chloe Sevigny. How the fuck did I forget her? Speaking of New York, but all right. So my number 8 is, I'm going to bring it to MTV. MTV, man. Duff was a VJ, and I fucking
man. Blank check, baby. Disney's blank check.
Yo, shout out to Brian Bonsall, wherever he's at. I feel like he's due for an episode. I feel like we can get him.
We definitely can.
But Duff, as a kid watching MTV, like I don't know, she was really cool, really animated, had great hair.
Yeah. That leather jacket. I think it was the leather jacket.
Yeah. Definitely. And Whitfield Crane from Ugly Kid Joe swooped in and stole her. So
nice. Good for him.
That's the singer.
Yeah. So number 8, Duff. Parker, number 7.
So my number 7, this girl is this girl's half Jewish, but just the good half. If you
Just
know
the
what I'm
good half.
talking about,
Yeah.
just the good half. So first saw this little hottie in I think it was either Mad Men or Community. It was one of those, and kind of lost track of her. And then I find out that Netflix is doing a show about gorgeous ladies of wrestling, and I'm like, oh, I was like, I'm fucking in, bro. And I turn it on, and there's hottie Allison Brie in the lead role. And I'm like, oh, man. And kind of like the same thing with the Christina Ocho story, except with Allison Brie. I was just like, wow. I was like, this girl is really good looking, and I would love to see her naked. And thank you, Netflix, for about 17 seconds into the first episode, she's butt-ass naked. And I said, thank you.
I thought you were going to pick Luna Vachon, but I guess
no, that's brutal right there. That's a brutal one. And then she just adds that Russian accent on top of it when she does her wrestling character, and fucking we're off to the races, man. That's the end of it right there.
So here's a life hack that I do. Whenever I find someone that I'm into that's a celebrity, I type their name into Google, and then I just write the word nude next to their name.
There you go.
Yeah, we're like the same guy.
Always.
For real.
Shout out to Mike Vanderbilt, because I'm sure he would
Shout
have
out to
enjoyed that.
nudography.
Yeah.
That always gives you the straight answer.
All right, Lang at number 7.
Another back in the day one, Linnea Quigley, man.
Oh, there you go.
Was, as a young man getting into horror, Linnea Quigley always delivered the goods, man. She's like such a cool girl, doesn't give a fuck.
No, yeah, for sure.
And legendary, like the Night of the Demons scene in the supermarket when she's like bending over to get the shit.
Yes.
And and who could Return of the Living Dead? I mean, that's legend. That is Mr. Skin Hall of Fame type.
Yeah.
Legend status.
Back then, when you got Full Frontal, it was a big deal. It was a big deal, and she definitely did not. If
she was in the film, you knew that you were getting that.
You were getting,
Never,
you were getting at least topless.
She never disappointed. TOPLESS.
Yes. Shout out to Ronnie Mund. My number 7 is from a TV show, and I missed the first couple of seasons, but when I started like paying attention to it, this was before you could record stuff and DVR. Like you had to be home, and I was never home. And then one day I watched That 70s Show, and I was like, oh, this is great. And I Mila Kunis is one thing, but I always thought Laura Prepon was definitely the hot one of that show. And
there you go.
Growing up, man, so it was like 98, like around 2000. I was just like, wow, this Donna girl is definitely the hot one of the show and stuff. And like later on, probably Mila Kunis, but definitely for the very beginning, Laura Prepon, who now has black hair and does like what Orange is the New Black. But back for this list, definitely
she gets
that's
naked in that show.
Oh yeah.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
I would say I'm gonna watch it now.
Type it in nude, baby.
Yeah, I'm typing. Yeah.
What's the name nude?
I don't have to watch anything. So, number 6, Celebrity Crush, Parker.
All right, so this one, I think that this is my first Instagram girl. So I'm a big search bar Instagram guy, and I just like click on the random pictures. I'm like, God damn, who's this hottie? Who's this hottie? And then I guess it just generates. And next thing I know, fucking, I'm looking at all these chicks. Cool thing with this one was she was born on Long Island. She's actually from Locust Valley. This girl, her name is Rachel.
Lindsay Lohan.
No, Rachel Glover is her name, and I have no clue. She's just an Instagram model.
I mean, that just sounds like a random Instagram profile. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
Rachel Glover. I don't know. She's an Instagram model. Does a lot of stuff. It looks like she's like a model for a lot of bars and liquor licensing and stuff like that. Her Instagram handle is Kayla Ray 716. She's got some, I don't know, like 45,000 followers or some shit. So.
Yo, I can't wait to Go on that picture.
Go for it.
All right, that's all right. What's her name again?
Rachel Glover is her real name. Kayla Ray 716 is the Instagram.
I don't know. That's great. I love it. So, all right. So that's Parker's number 7. Langan. Oh no, that's what are we up to? 6?
That was 6.
That was the 6. Yeah.
Langan number 6.
I'm my 6 is Mickey Bereni, the singer from Lush. The red-haired, cute, awesome singer, guitar player. I always loved her. I loved the albums. I loved the band. And when I saw the videos, forget about it. But when I saw her at Lollapalooza, I remember this dude in the front row had like brought roses or something and threw roses on stage, and she walked over and stomped her foot on it and grinded it into the ground.
Good.
Rocked the set. I was like, I'm completely smitten here.
Yeah.
I love this girl. But and she's mad funny, but she's on Twitter, very active on Twitter, and really funny, super funny, and a great follow. She's actually got a book coming out later this year, which I'm excited about. And she still hasn't answered about being on this podcast, but I'm still waiting to holla at your boy.
We gotta get her email.
Yeah.
We gotta get her email, send her some roses.
I know she's listening.
Totally. Especially to this episode, you know.
Yeah.
Number 6. Here's one. I mean, this woman, I mean, I'm definitely not talking about now, but I mean, this was one of the biggest crushes on the planet for sure for a very long time. Demi Moore. Demi Moore, and I'm going with 1992's Indecent Proposal, where I think that was probably like the most I paid attention to her. And obviously the plot of the movie is just so fucking fascinating. You know, it's like you need money, and this rich dude's like, hey, can I bang out your wife for a day and I'll give you $1 million? You know, it's pretty fucked up, you know, but that's what makes a good movie.
You have to alter it for inflation, probably.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, probably about 5, you know.
Yeah, at least
5 to make sense, you know. And you know, in the movie, like she was fine, and you know, it's just Woody Harrelson, as much as he wanted it, once after it was over, like he just couldn't get over the fact that you know she did it. So, but goddamn, I mean, what a really, really attractive person. What an attractive human being Demi Moore was around 1992 for sure.
Amen.
So, yeah, number 6. All right, so we're getting to the top 5. Here we go. We're getting down to the nitty gritty.
That's it.
Parker, what Facebook model you got?
No, negative. This is my first old WWE ring announcer woman right here. So now she works for ESPN, and her name is Cheryl Arnault. And I don't know, this one I think she was with WWE for about 5 years, and then contract expired. I guess ESPN had been watching and they just snatched her up. And I don't know. She's very good looking, great at doing interviews. Probably doesn't have half as many followers as the chick in Locust Valley, but what are you gonna do? You know,
that's it.
Cheryl Arnault.
Hey, so if you made a top 10 dudes, would Jack Tunney be on that top 10?
Oh man, rest in peace. That guy was the best. Yeah. He used to sell Ico Pro. Remember that from like the 80s? Ico Pro.
I just remember Jack Tunney was the president. Or they said he was the president. Like,
yeah.
That's all I remember. It was so funny. And I remember, so Jack Tunney was this figure, and he would always be billed as the WWF president. So when I would watch it, I was convinced that's who he was. Why would they lie to me? And then later on, I was like, who the fuck is Vince McMahon? And why do they keep saying that he's like, I was like, wait
a minute, Tunney? They lied to me about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was so smart about it because McMahon owned the company, but he portrayed himself as a ring announcer at first. So he was genius even back then.
Shout out to Gorilla Monsoon.
Nice.
Sure. So Langan, I don't know. What do we have to 5?
Number 5 is Judy Aronson. From
Judy
Aronson.
Oh yeah.
All right. First, obviously, Friday the 13th, Part 4. My favorite Friday the 13th movie. That's fine as hell. And then the girlfriend of Wyatt in Weird Science. That's when I was all about it. And so bent, like, damn, like, how did a herb like Wyatt get this girl? You know, like,
Yeah.
She's amazing looking now, maybe
Yeah.
even hotter now. Oh, and I met her at one of the, was it Chiller or something like that? She was there with Suzanne Snyder, who played her friend in Weird Science, and got her to autograph my box and whatever. And I was like a young kid, like I was speechless. I didn't know what to say. I heard
You were like a young Ralph Cramden.
I was totally.
Hamina.
She's amazing.
Yeah, that's great. And she banged at Michael Dudikoff in American Ninja.
Yes.
I mean, come
Nice.
on.
Yes.
Let's throw that in there for sure.
Got to.
All right. So my number 5 is, I mean, what an icon when it comes to a physical specimen. Probably the only blonde on my list, but I don't even know what natural hair color she normally has. But it's Pam Anderson. Pam Anderson, for about 3 years, probably was like just this. I mean, she was just, to a teenage boy, I mean, just mind blowing. Like that was just like physically, it was just like, speaking of Weird Science, like that's what you would make, like that's what you would create.
Yes.
She was just this high heels, big tits, like fucking like nice tan, gorgeous face, and it seemed very nice. I loved Pam and Tommy. I don't know if you guys finished that. Did you guys?
I did.
Okay, yeah. You know what I liked about that show, to be honest with you, because at first, like, I kind of understood why she wouldn't want to watch that. I didn't really even know how serious it was that someone actually did steal it. It seemed like such a non-story. But when they went through the, what happened, I wonder, I guess that's kind of what really happened. And they
it's because nobody was like directly involved. It's based on the article, I think, that was written in some magazine about it. You know what I mean? So,
but was it really his handyman?
That's what, that part, I guess, is undisputed or whatever. But I think other details in it, some people say did, some people didn't. But
there's depth.
You get the idea.
There's depth to the story because you kind of feel her pain in the series. Like she's very hurt about it, and she just kind of wants it to go away. And the internet is starting to happen. And then also when you get to Tommy Lee, who's like dealing with being on the verge of almost being irrelevant. Like that side of the story. And then
she came off good, he came off really bad, like really bad, but
listen, I thought it was a really cool story, but I mean, I couldn't, I gotta say, for 3 or 4 years, she was like universally what everyone our age was like, yeah, that's like the perfect, woman. So shout out to my number 5. Here we go. Parker, number 4.
Number 4. So, I was, watching my latest fucking Pitbull video because, I'm down with fucking Mr. 305 over there. And then this chick is on there and I'm like, who the fuck is this? This guy, Pitbull gets like the hottest fucking women in his fucking videos. I like don't know what the fuck he's paying these fucking women. He really does. So Karen, I think it's V or Vi. Her last name is VI. And
does she play guitar?
She might as well, because she's built like a fucking brick shit house, this one. And just, I don't know if she's like an Instagram model or what, if she's like a YouTube chick or what her story is, but very good looking, from San Antonio, Texas. That's really all that I could fucking tell you. It's, her career looks like she worked for Sky Vodka. She was a Budweiser girl, yada, yada, yada.
I mean, I mean, how'd you even come across a Pitbull video?
Come on, dude. I'm a fucking hip hop head.
He's not even hip hop though.
He's not? Oh, okay.
No.
What's he considered then?
I don't know. He's
Okay.
he's like a pop artist.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah,
so I'm a pop head. There you go.
So I'm a pop head.
Yeah.
So I'm a fucking pop head.
Yeah,
so
I honestly think I saw his video that she was in at the gym one day. But I mean, we're going back now, fucking 10 years ago or something, when I was on the elliptical. So
that makes sense. You would see it there for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Number 4, Langan.
My number 4 is Kim Gordon, bass player, Sonic Youth. Just a total badass of rock. Like the way she plays bass, the way she carries herself, just eternally cool. Like in that way, like as a female, that like David Bowie would be for a male, like that. Even as they get older, just cool, 100% cool all the time. A high point of style. She had mad style to talk about what else. I must have a theme here. Parker Posey and Lady Miss Kier that I was mentioned, but as far as that New York City style, Kim Gordon represents it, like in the same way Blondie might have done, decades before that. But like Kim Gordon's the shit.
She was. I mean, she is a total queen for sure. Like when it comes to like, I mean, super badass, man. Like I remember just the early 90s around the time that I came across like Sonic Youth. Probably speaking of Cool Thing, it was probably around the Cool Thing video, and she's amazing. I mean, like just watch that Bull in the Heather video,
Yes.
I mean, that's
Thurston,
about it.
you played yourself. Thurston.
All right, so here we go. Number 4. So for me, Winona Ryder is definitely like every era, but I'm gonna bring it back to like Beetlejuice because I was 10 and she probably couldn't have been that much older than me, maybe a couple of years older. But when I first saw her in Beetlejuice, as a young 10-year-old boy, I just knew that there was something about her. And, I was right. She went on to make a lot of great movies that I loved. And, now you see her in something like Stranger Things and she's like, I guess our age for sure, so we kind of grew up with this girl. It's like, the girl that she's a part of the crew that you have a crush on. And it all started with Beetlejuice. She just she was one of the first goths that I was into, and I didn't really know what it was back then. I guess it didn't, when you're 10, I guess it just didn't have a word for it. And I also bring up the girl in the Michael Penn video, No Myth, because they both had that look. I'm like, I don't know what this is. It's like black hair, like really like pale skin, like very Elvira, you just look at it and you're like, oh, this is like a really interesting look, and later on, you kind of become definitely attracted to that. So shout out to Winona for all eras, but definitely for the kickoff for 10-year-old me at Beetlejuice. Here we go. Mr. Wawa, number 3.
I got another Instagram girl for you though.
All
this chick's got 24 million followers though, so I guess because it's more than me just liking her. So, and I just found out that she was in Playboy 2011, but I should have just typed naked after her last name and we could fucking skip that whole thing. So Amanda Cerny, if that's how you fucking even pronounce her last name, because I don't know if it's Kearney, Cerny, whatever it is. I don't know. Good looking chick. She tries to do comedy. It's not really that funny, but you give her a break. She's not a Rashida Jones. At least she could pull it off. But as far as looks, I'd say probably about a 10 out of 10.
A 10 out of 10 Maroons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, if her comedy is not that great, we'll invite her on the show. And she will definitely come on. We could take some of those 24 million followers. Yeah. And so shout out to her at your number 3. Brings us to Langan, your number 3.
My number 3 is Bjork. Always been I love the Sugar Cubes when she went solo, that debut album. What can I say? She's like not of this earth. Like there's nobody like her that looks like her, sounds like her. She's so gifted and talented. She does amazing art. Her voice is completely unique, and she's just cute as fuck, man. And
yeah.
And also when she got into the rave thing in the 90s too, she had a whole thing going on. And I've told the story before how I got to see Goldie and Tricky fighting over her.
Yes.
At I think the Roxy or something. But yeah, I love her. I love knowing what she's up to. She's always brings something different. She's fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. Back then, I mean, that was somebody that you always, definitely loved the music, but like everyone you knew had like that Bjork fucking crush. And from the Sugar Cubes, I remember when I first heard the song Hit, like it was just so automatic. And then she went on to do her thing. But yeah, it's just that was that era. So here we go. Number 3, top 3. Boy, I mean, these are all pretty interchangeable to be honest with you. But Uma Thurman in Pulp Fiction as Mia Wallace. Travolta has to take her on a date. It's his boss's girl, and she was just so cool. I love the white shirt, the black hair, the eyes, just their conversation. I don't know, like Mia Wallace was just definitely my favorite one of her roles. Obviously Kill Bill too, but I think Mia Wallace is my favorite Uma Thurman role. And it just, you kind of
look was iconic too.
You kind of want, you want it to be Vincent Vega. She's sitting there and she's kind of like, they're on this date, but it's not really a date. And you could tell that they have some sort of chemistry, but it could never be, it's like, and then she just would always, and I'm sure Tarantino did it on purpose because he does everything methodical, where she's like, don't be a square, but she draws like a rectangle.
Yeah.
And he takes a sipper for a $5 fucking smoothie or whatever the fuck it is. I mean, it's just great, man.
Served by Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was so iconic in that. I mean, like, how many else? If I just describe to you black bangs and a white collared shirt, which is a plain description as hell. If somebody had that, you know exactly what they was going for.
And you could even put that little bit of blood underneath her nose, when she ODs.
Nice touch.
To urge Overkill's cover of Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon.
There you go.
But yeah, man, Uma Thurman, Pulp Fiction, super top 3 crush right there. So Parker, what do you got?
Number 2, we're back to WWE, man. I know that Dan Turr is a fan of this girl. She's actually a twin, so 2 for the price of 1. But she's definitely the better looking out of the 2. So this is Nikki Bella from the Bella Twins.
Okay,
and she was funny enough. So she was a guest on Dancing with the Stars, and actually turned around and married the fucking guy that she danced with. Because I guess John Cena was too much of a pussy to fucking marry her, and they broke up. And then she said, "Well, fuck you. I'll just marry this guy," and that's what they did.
She was really with John Cena, like
in real life, and he pretty much said, like, "I'm not gonna do this. Like, I don't want children. I don't want a marriage. Like, there's the door." So,
shout out to the Peacemaker, man.
Yeah,
you could never tell what's real and what's not real, because when I guess Triple H was like dating Stephanie, right?
Yeah, well, he's married to her now.
Okay, but I didn't know that was like really a thing, but I guess it was like a real thing. So I think Stephanie is actually probably better looking than Nikki Bella. I just looked up Nikki Bella.
There you go.
So we could swap her out. That's your number 2. So Langan, number 2.
My number 2 is Aubrey Plaza.
Oh, nice. Good one.
Yeah.
She
that's a good one.
First got on my radar with Parks and Rec, and she's just playing this she's just got this deadpan humor, like real dark and acerbic and sarcastic, which is like right up my alley. And she's just so, if you watch her too on like on YouTube, on Conan O'Brien interviews, or whenever she was on the show, like she's a brilliant like guest. She has like a comic timing in mind. Like she's not a stand-up, but she's just one of those people like Bill Murray that just has, they're an actor, comedy actor, but they got,
they're great on those
shows. They can
shows.
bring it too. Like we're like a Will Ferrell. He's funny in movies, but he's not funny, I feel like, off a script. But like she's got that kind of talent. But
especially for things like that, where like those shows are painfully unfunny. Especially like now with a podcast where you could have a normal conversation, like these like late night talk show, like 5 minute,
they're on their last legs, it's just a stupid promotional
It's
vehicle.
unbearable. It's
Yeah.
like Jimmy Fallon will be like, "So I hear that you could like roll a joint with your toes. Is that
Yeah.
true?" Well,
Yeah.
Jimmy, yes, I guess I can. Oh,
From
all
the
right.
pre-interview.
I
Yeah.
know it's so
It's
ridiculous.
the same shit. But yeah, she's great on those, and you can watch the clips and stuff. But great movies she's putting together. Black Bear, one I watched the other night, Evening with Beverly Loughlin, The Little Hours, Ingrid Goes West, Safety Not Guaranteed, fantastic film, The To-Do List, Life After Beth. These were all like really good movies. Like I think she's gonna, have a huge career.
Yeah, the kid,
Obviously she is having one, but love her.
she was in the Child's Play remake, I think.
Yeah, I like that actually better than the first one. I don't like Child's Play though.
Yeah, I'm not a big Chucky guy, but
It's a fucking doll. Enough.
Yeah.
Stop.
Stop. Yeah, for sure. Give Brad Dourif something better to do.
I pick that little fucker up, throw him right in the trash compactor.
That's it.
It's not that bad.
Speaking of rolling a joint with your foot, I got offered weed from the fucking kid that does the voice of Chucky at fucking Monster Mania one year, so that was kind of cool.
Really?
Oh yeah. I was taking a leak and he was in the fucking urinal next to me and he was just like, "Yo, bro, you want this?" I was like, "No, I'm good, man. Thanks."
He's like, who here looks like a cop?
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably thought you were gonna arrest him.
You never know.
Yo, a cop just followed me into the urinal.
Yeah.
My number two, I feel like I'm my list is definitely all from like when I was a teenager. Linda Evangelista, specifically in George Michael's video for Freedom 90. She was one of those like supermodels, like I forget the joke, whose joke it was. Is like, why are you called supermodels? And it's like, oh, because they fight crime as well or something, but like, yeah, like back then people would refer to these women as supermodels, and Linda Evangelista was definitely like on that fucking level, and she was just gorgeous. Like if you see her in this video, she just had perfect hair, perfect face. Like she was just a fucking, like, it's almost like you're not human type thing. And yeah, I would always love, first of all, great song, but she was just absolutely fucking stunning to look at. So number two,
Did Fred Norris consider her a supermodel?
who was
That's the true test.
Carol Alt was the one who
He was so mean to her, man.
Yeah.
Like that was cold. Do you ever like listen to those again? Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Fred.
I was thinking the other day, speaking of Stern, I was thinking of, because he's such a fucking kiss ass right now. Like they played an episode where he was talking to Mandy Moore, and I'm sitting there thinking like, fucking, you're kissing Mandy Moore's ass, which is fine. I'm sure she's an amazing person, but I'm thinking like, why is she even on the fucking show right now? Ooh, Mandy Moore, like what the fuck does she do? But I remember when he had Rachel Hunter on, and she didn't want to go in, and she started to cry, and he fucking lost his shit and like called her like a cunt and all this other stuff. And I just remember how fucking mean he was to her, to the point where like I was listening to it going like, Jesus Christ, I'm like, this fucking kind of fucked up. And listen, maybe he kind of grew up. I would never do that, but it's just like night and day, man. Like I was thinking to completely about that, but yeah, shout out to Carol Alt. She was not a supermodel. So all right, I'm very curious. Parker, read Sarah's list.
All right, hang on.
She told me she revised today.
Yeah, she fucking revised like 3 fucking times. All right, here we go. Jesus Christ. All right, so number 10 is Michael Vartan from Alias, 1 Hour Photo, Never Been Kissed.
Nice.
You know that guy? Okay.
Yeah.
Number 9, this is a fucking funny one because I said, who the fuck is that? And then she had to tell me who it was. Michael Schaffling. So he played Jake Ryan on 16 Candles.
Okay. Yeah, she got a good list. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Number 8, David Beckham.
Yes.
That dude's hot. I'd fuck that dude.
Yeah, I mean,
number 7, I'd fuck this guy too. Josh Holloway, who was Sawyer from Lost. I'd probably fuck this guy. Number 6, Jason Statham.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this one I don't get. I've never gotten, and I will never get. This motherfucker looked like he had a goddamn milk dud on his fucking face. even though it got removed, and I still bust her fucking balls about this. Enrique Iglesias.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Dude had a fucking milk dud on his face. This now it gets like real fucking corny, but almost kind of like comical. So number 4, you got fucking Joshua Jackson.
Oh,
from
yeah.
from the Skulls fame.
That's a good one.
Number 3, you got Jason Priestley, 90210. Number 2, you got Christian Slater. And number 1, you got fucking Joey McIntyre from New Kids on the Block.
Yeah. You know what? I could see see the New Kids for sure.
Yeah. And then honorable mention, she had Brad Pitt, Matthew McConaughey, Harrison Ford, Tom Hardy, and Roman Reigns, who's actually a WWE guy.
Roman Reigns.
Solid.
I wonder if he's related to Romy Reigns.
I don't know. But yeah.
All right, that's good. Sarah, awesome. Great job on that. Langan, what did your wife give to us?
She didn't like particularly I got 8 here. She didn't put them in any order.
Sure.
So
We'll make you number 9 and 10.
Maybe I'd rank that high. Jamie Dornan, who I
Yes.
believe is an Irish actor. I looked that guy up. Harry Styles. He's a singer, right?
Yeah, he's a singer. Yeah.
Yes. Jason Momoa.
Yep.
Okay. Matthew Gray Gubler. He was he's on that show Criminal Minds. He was actually in Life After Beth with Aubrey Plaza. He was like the dickhead brother. And he was in the film. We interviewed the guy that directed it. 68. No.
Oh,
What was that movie? 68 Kill?
68 Kill. Yeah.
Yes. He was the main guy in that.
Okay. Yeah. I know who that is. Yep.
Then we have Ricky Martin.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I wonder how he feels about this.
It's an honor to be mentioned, he said. Benjamin Bratt.
Okay.
actor.
Wow.
Vatos Locos.
Yeah.
And then we have 2 solid picks here. Johnny Depp,
Yes.
who is making in the news right now.
Would she shit on his bed?
Yep.
Who wouldn't? I would. Then we have Prince.
Okay. All right. Listen, Prince would definitely bang any one of our girls, and I'm okay with it. All right. So Karen gave me 10 here. I don't know who the fuck Kit Harington is from Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah.
Number 9, Oscar Isaac. Scenes from a Marriage, which I guess he's hot and heavy with someone. Number 8, she sent me this. I just laughed because I'm like, how do you even know who this person is? DB Sweeney in The Cutting Edge.
That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. That's a good pick right there.
2, Alexander Skarsgård, True Blood. Number 6, Nick Hexum, 311.
Oh, that's good. That's fucking good.
Number 5, Shannon Hoon, Blind Melon.
Wow.
No, she actually has a picture. I wish I can get it. Maybe I'll have her send it to me and I'll make it like the episode picture. She has a picture of her laying on Shannon Hoon's grave. Johnny Depp and Crybaby. All right. Number 3, Brad Pitt and Everything. Relax. These 2 are funny, especially, one I get. Number 2, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Wow.
Which explains a lot for me. I'm like, all right, yeah, I guess you like ugly
Private
fat guys.
pile.
No, but if for her specifically, it was Adventures in
Thor?
Babysitting.
Yeah, Thor. There you go.
So as a kid, she loved that movie, and that's, I guess, there was something about him.
That makes more sense than Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, she's 8 years younger than me, and like she's like, oh, I always wanted to watch Full Metal Jacket, and I put it on. She lasted about 10 minutes. Like she just couldn't even get past. And I was like, oh, that's Vincent D'Onofrio. She's like, it is?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. I'm like, it is. Like, this is the same year that Adventures in Babysitting came out. She's just like, she couldn't even wrap her head around it. But like, I guess like that dude yelling through the first like 30 minutes, she like after 10, she's like, I can't do this.
I might watch the scene of him yelling at all of them in the beginning of that movie,
then
maybe
stop.
once a month.
Yeah.
I might watch it on YouTube
Yeah.
once a month. I love it.
Who
That's-
said that? Who
That's
said that?
great. Yeah.
Who said that?
Are you
Was
a
it
Peter
you?
Puffer?
Yeah.
Was it you? You suck dick? Bullshit. That you could suck
You
a
could suck-
golf ball through a garden hose.
Yeah.
Respect
I
to that
said
guy.
I repeated many of those insults at that age. I was like 9 watching
yeah.
that. I'm just like totally. And her number one is Leonardo DiCaprio and
Oh, there you go.
Romeo and Juliet.
Ah.
So number one, here we go. Right under, we're at the 55-minute mark. So this will be a nice tight hour of us, pining or talking about our stupid celebrity crushes. Number one, Parker.
Number one, fucking the accent came back big time with this one. And I think the first thing I saw her in, I was just like, wow, I was like, this fucking woman is a complete fucking bitch, but that accent just keeps pulling me fucking back in. And it
Nikita
was-
Denise.
No, fucking it was Emily Blunt and fucking The Devil Wears Prada. And
I was going to say Rosie Perez.
yeah, no, that's a good one too. But yeah, Emily Blunt, and then I mean, Jesus Christ, everything from Sicario to fucking Quiet Place to fucking John Krasinski's a fucking Very Lucky Man.
Yeah, I just recently rewatched Sicario with her, the first one.
Yeah,
It's so goddamn good. Like,
Yep.
you want to talk about just a slow burn masterpiece of a fucking movie
mhm.
with, we talk about like intense scenes. The checkpoint scene is
Oh, yeah.
just as intense as the Boogie Nights scene or like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre scene. Really, really good movie. So cool. Emily Blunt, that's a good one.
Yeah, man.
Langdon.
Let's see. Before I give my number one, couple more honorary mentions I forgot to mention. Emma Stone, Meredith Salinger. I don't know if you remember her from Dream a Little Dream.
No, but
Darcy.
that's good.
Darcy from the Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, that's a good one.
Veruza Balk and Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Worst Witch, man. Nice. I like it.
But my
No.
number one, it was
Veruza Balk, yeah.
No, Fairuza Balk is not Worst Witch. That's
she was
the
in
craft.
that.
That
She
was her.
also in Worst Witch.
That was
too.
her as the little girl.
Yeah, she was young.
Yeah. That's her. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't have mentioned that one. I mean, she was a little,
little
but,
pedophile-ish, but you know.
Yeah.
I'd go a little older there. But my number one, when we said we were going to do this, I wrote this down. I filled in all the other ones later, but this was always number one.
Me and you.
Ryder.
Oh, okay.
Winona Ryder, done deal. She's the goat. She was the coolest. She was another like it girl of that late 80s, early 90s. Good films, but Beetlejuice also when she got on my radar, and I was in love right from the get-go. She's just, I don't know, I can't say enough about her, but except I was bummed when the shoplifting thing happened. That was a little detour in her career, and I thought for a minute, I was like, all right, she's going off the deep end. This could be my chance. I need to get to LA now. She's gonna hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
This would be my only window to make this happen. But
Yeah.
she seemed to write her career though after that,
Yeah.
much to my chagrin.
Yeah. There's
Here we are.
there's nothing like rock bottom when you're trying to get someone. Even,
That's when I step in.
That's-
That's rock bottom.
that's when most of us step in rock bottom. Same thing with guests, like whenever, it's like once again, Brian Bonsall. Do you think I'm joking? I'm
Let's do it.
emailing as soon
Let's
as I'll be like, what was it like working with Karen Duffy?
Mm.
All right. So my number one, I don't give a fuck. It's a three-way tie.
Oh,
Oh,
It's a three-way tie. It's a three-way
Okay.
tie between, so Tina Fey is just really funny, really smart, just unbelievably talented. Like she's just, when someone is so funny and looks like, Lisa Ann, it just really helps. Also Phoebe Cates, I'm going to say probably Gremlins 2 for me is the height. But the eternal number one is Jennifer Connelly. Jennifer
Oh.
Connelly, when I saw her in Labyrinth, I was probably maybe a little younger. Then I saw Phenomena, and then you just watch it through the years, and we're kind of she might be like 4 or 5 years older than me. But when we get to Requiem for a Dream, I'm probably 22 and she's a few years older than me, and she's showing off her bush. She's doing ass to ass, even though it's probably not her, but just the actual role was just so ridiculous, but she was just absolutely gorgeous in this. She's just like, if you look at someone, you're like, how are you so disgustingly good looking? And I think that's really what she was in Requiem for a Dream. So that's
you can come out of that movie and someone feels you're good looking.
Yeah,
right.
Totally. Jared Leto is as hot as he is.
He is hot.
Yes.
But I feel like Connolly won that. I just couldn't really pick, they're those three in particular. But if I was not going to lie to myself, it's always been Jennifer Connelly. It's just, through seriously, like I just from Labyrinth, which is amazing to think of, to all the way to fucking Requiem.
What about the Career Opportunities?
Oh, that's the height for me, is her in that,
Yeah. I love using that gif of her riding that horse.
Oh yeah.
Frank Whaley, shout out to him.
Maybe we can get him. That'd be a good one to get.
I feel like maybe we can. Like, what was the last thing, Brad with the big brains.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Listen, I'm
Nice.
glad we got to tape this episode of absolute utter nonsense, talking about a list. I'm glad I got to discuss
Expecting big numbers on this one.
Yeah. I'm expecting revelation numbers, because I said Joe from Facts of Life and Martha Plimpton. Parker picked like 2 people. I don't even Instagram models, but I should have known after he picked number 10. What was that, Dancing with the Stars? I feel like I got to go look through that list now.
You got to look them all up, man.
I know. I don't.
You won't be disappointed, believe me.
I bet. So, all right, cool. Until next time, I guess we'll do some Rick next week. We got some American bands, and that's it, man. So I will see you guys soon.
Okay.
Later.
All right.